dramatic.
Now, have you guys ever wondered why South Africa isn't affected by the major natural disasters that are out there? Things like tornadoes, hurricanes, and volcanoes? Well, I'm actually very keen to find out, because we do have Chelsea in the building, and she is currently studying towards her master's degree, FYI. Yes, super proud of you for that. So she's here to explain all of this to us, and why in South Africa we aren't affected by all of these natural disasters. Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you. So you're currently doing your master's in geology, yes?
Yes.
Congratulations, well done for that. Major achievement. What exactly is geology, and can you please talk us through, some of the things that you've brought for us today?
So geology is the study of the Earth,
Yeah.
which is, an enormous field to be in. Some of the samples in front of me today basically are rocks which come from our tectonic plate. And our tectonic plate is made up of oceanic crust and continental crust. And if you look over here, we have two different rock types, and you can see they're different colors.
Yes.
And this is kind of what oceanic crust looks like. This is the, the uppermost part of it, and it's called basalt, and it's dark. And this is what a lot of people know to be granite. And if you hold those, they're roughly the same size, but do you feel that the one is a lot heavier?
Yes, this one.
The oceanic crust is a lot
heavier.
heavier.
Yes.
So our oceanic crust is very thin, our continental crust is very thick, and when they assemble together, they're a tectonic plate which floats on our mantle.
Interesting stuff. Can you please put those back for me, please, darling?
Your arm's getting sore.
Can you please tell me more about what exactly is a tectonic plate? What is that?
A tectonic plate is basically the rigid outer shell, a piece of the rigid outer shell of our planet. Earth is very unique in that we have a core mantle and a crust. And an upper
there
part.
It is. We have got a picture over there.
So basically this describes the section of a tectonic plate. And over here we've got a demonstration where tectonic plates are in a destructive zone.
Right.
So one is falling down back into the mantle, and there on the left of the image we have a tectonic plate being created at a mid-ocean ridge. So yeah.
And how do tectonic plates affect things like volcanoes and hurricanes and all the other natural disasters that we have in the world?
There's a direct effect between things like volcanoes and earthquakes and tectonic plates, and it's at the boundaries where these plates meet that all the action happens. So as you can see in the image, where tectonic plates meet and the one is heavier than the other, the one sinks or subducts back down to the mantle. And when it gets down there, it's pretty hot, so it melts. And all this melt rises because it's buoyant, and gases come out of it. And volcanoes appear on the surface of the Earth and spew out very dangerous gases and lava flows. That's the one effect of a destructive plate boundary. Another effect is that sometimes when the plate is going down, it gets stuck. And over time, a lot of strain builds up, and eventually the strain releases, and great earthquakes are released, like we've seen in Japan and in Jakarta, I think, in 2004. So very devastating effects.
And I do understand that in South Africa we aren't as affected, but I mean surrounding areas are. Can you please tell us more about those areas?
So
why they are affected and we're not.
So South Africa is indeed in the middle of our African plate, and the boundary of our plate is thousands of kilometers offshore, east, west, and south of us. So we're very far away from these sites where plates meet and destruct.
And I do understand that in 2000, you did mention that there was a natural disaster that happened in Mozambique.
Indeed.
And there's a bit of a sweet story that goes with that. Can you please tell us a little bit more about that?
So I mean, Southern Africa is not completely devoid of natural disasters. I mean, right now we're in a very serious drought, and sometimes cyclones that appear in the southern Indian Ocean cross over Madagascar and into Mozambique if they're incredibly strong. And in 2000 we had one of the most devastating cyclones that Southern Africa's ever seen. But despite all of this, a wonderful Mozambican woman, she was heavily pregnant, she climbed up a tree to say she had her baby in the tree.
Like can you deal? How can you even deal? I don't know how it happened, but I mean, it's just so touching and amazing. This woman was just trying to protect her child. You did mention that it doesn't have an effect on the weather,
Tectonic plates and the weather, they're not really related. But tectonic plates and climate can be very much linked in a very long time period. because volcanoes contribute to the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is a very current topic with global warming, and trying to estimate how much carbon dioxide is sitting in our atmosphere. And a portion of that carbon dioxide forms from volcanoes, which we see at destructive tectonic plate boundaries.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that we're out of time, because I had like a ton of questions to ask you. I also wanted to know what a dormant volcano is, because apparently, you know, Lion's Head is actually, it has something to do with that. But anyway, guys, time is not our friend, but please keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter. The hashtag is #MyMzansi. Chelsea, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Hectic.